Hi, my name is Robin. This is my husband, Greg. Our son, Ryan, is 5.5 years old. When he was born, he did meet all of his milestones up until about a year. We noticed he didn't have as good of eye contact as other children had. His verbal skills were basically non-existent. There would be grunts for what he wanted. There was no pointing. The socialization with other children was not apparent at all. He would be at birthday parties or sports classes. He would be in the corner. He would be crying, having temper tantrums, not wanting to participate, getting very frustrated because he wasn't able to communicate to us verbally what he wanted. He was in speech therapy since 12 months, occupational therapy, ABA therapy. When we saw little or no results, we were becoming very frustrated because it almost seemed like he had peaked in his successes and was not going any further. And we were searching for ways to help him for different types of therapies that might be able to help him progress beyond where he was at that point.
Yeah, it was very, very frustrating. We felt like he was reaching a ceiling. We were putting tremendous hours with early intervention. It was speech therapy, occupational therapy. Everything was working to just a point, and we really needed something to just get him above that next hurdle, and nothing really was helping. We did all kinds of looking on the internet to see what we could do, and then we came across Dr. Neubrander and the hyperbaric oxygen treatments with regard to the whole his entire protocol, and then from there, going through the process.
About the month before we really decided to do the HBOT, he was just, socially very, very immature. Verbally, there were still at that point, he was 3, almost 4 years old at that point. Yeah. Not a word, grunts and groans for what he wanted, no socialization with his younger siblings. He would go to birthday parties. He would not like the music. He wouldn't like the noise. He wouldn't want to participate. He would be sitting in corners. I would take him to sports classes and things like that. He would just have meltdown after meltdown, excuse me, not wanting to participate. And he was getting frustrated. We could see the frustration in his eyes because he wanted to tell us so badly what he wanted, but he wasn't able to do that. He didn't want to participate in anything with the family. We would go to family birthday parties. All the children would be in one room. He would be in another. We would be outside playing sports. He just was not interested in anything. He seemed like there was a fog. When you looked at him, he didn't look like he was really all with us, if that makes sense. We would try to talk to him. It was almost like he didn't really understand what we were saying. He couldn't communicate to us that he did understand what he was saying. When it came time for eating, he wasn't a very good eater. He just seemed like a very unhappy child, almost like he was inside of a bubble, and we were getting so frustrated because there was nothing that we could do to pull him out of this bubble. Mm-hmm. So we started Dr. Neubrander's protocol.
With the supplements and things of that nature.
Well, he was, right, when we had seen Dr. Neubrander, he had been on the methyl B12 shots, and with those shots, before we did the HBOT, we had seen some results, a little more eye contact, smiling more. He seemed a bit happier, but still the language was really our main concern with the social aspect.
Our son suffers from verbal apraxia, and a very, very severe version of verbal apraxia.
Which is motor planning. He knows what he wants to say, but he's not able to get the sounds together to make the words, to produce the words
incredibly
that he wants
low muscle tone, and just the inability to say anything. Mommy was ah-ee, daddy was ah-ee, just nothing, literally with nothing.
So we started the protocol, and it was Dr. Neubrander's protocol was the 90 hours the first month, so it was an hour and a half twice a day, which is not easy to do when you have. We have Ryan, and we also have 2 other children, so it's really not an easy thing to do it.
Twin 3-year-olds.
But we decided that this was the kind of thing that we wanted to give it a shot, because we didn't want to look back 10, 15 years from now and say we didn't do everything that we could for our child. And this seemed like something that we had heard had very good results with some people. And, so we decided that it was worth a shot with our son. So we did do it the first month. It was very trying. Waking up very early in the morning, trying to get 2 other kids ready while putting him in sometimes 5, 6 o'clock in the morning, staying up later at night while after trying to get the rest of the family to bed, trying to get him in there, double on the weekends, 2 times a day, Saturday, 2 times a day on Sunday. But honestly, when he first went in the chamber, he really liked it. I mean, he went in, we call it the spaceship. So he goes in and he loved it. He thought it was great, that he got to do something that his brother and sister didn't get to do. But, excuse me, honestly, it was very frustrating because after the 90 hours, we had not seen the results that we were hoping for. And we are the kind of people that want to see, we heard people had such great results, and why are we not having these results?
We were extremely frustrated because we were saying to ourselves, we need that special thing that's going to get Ryan over the hump, and we weren't able to get it. With all the therapies, it was just an amazing amount of frustration. We put in all of this hard work into the 90 hours, and we were looking at each other, we're like, oh.
And I remember we said to each other after the 90 hours were done, I said to Greg, I said, we must be in that percentage of people, who it doesn't work for. And I think we kind of, had that in our minds going in that maybe that would be, but we also had the expectation of hoping that maybe we would be in the percentage of people that it did work for. So it was about 2.5 weeks. After you do the 90 hours, the first month, you have to take a break, a 3 to 4 week break in between. And we had heard that some people show some gains at different times. So every day we woke up hoping that this would be the day, and every night we went to bed and it wasn't the day. And it's very trying as parents when you look at your child and you would do anything for your child. And to put in all this hard work and to see no gains was just heartbreaking. And I remember it was one day he went to bed that night and there were no words. When I tell you no words, I'm telling you no words. It was mommy was eat, like Greg said earlier. I mean, very cookie, eat. Maybe there were 5 of those approximations. Went to bed, came downstairs the next morning, looked me straight in the eye, which he had not done. Like I said, the eye contact was never really an issue, but it wasn't as good as it could have been. Looked me straight in the eye and said to me, Mommy, I want a cookie. I almost fell off of my chair. I looked at him. I didn't know what to do with myself, and I thought maybe I was dreaming. I thought maybe I didn't want to get my hopes up too high because maybe if it was just a one-time thing, I didn't want to put all my eggs in one basket, so to speak. And it was from that day on, it was just,
what basically happened, the fog was really lifting.
But basically, he went from no words to 2-word sentences to 5-word sentences. And this is a boy diagnosed with severe apraxia who had no speech up until the age of 4, nothing. Approximations after that, and then literally after the first 90 hours and a couple of weeks into the break period was fully conversational. The apraxia still, it's still, there's articulation issues. There's still articulation issues, but the fact that he is now fully conversational. His eye contact is phenomenal. He'll look you right in the eye. He now plays soccer. He plays baseball. He plays basketball.
Yeah, all mainstream.
He has play dates. I mean, back when he was 3 years old, I was the one calling the parents to ask for play dates. And it's heartbreaking when you're the parents and nobody wants to play with your child. And I was the one always calling. And I can tell you, he has at least 2 play dates a week by children requesting.
Yeah, he's the one being initiated.
He's being requested because parents want to come play with him. And I also I see how he is when he now plays the sports. He used to be the child out on the end of the court crying, and now he's the kid passing the ball. Now he's the kid making baskets. He's the goalie in soccer. He's joking around with his friends. He's initiating play with his brother and sister. I mean, imaginative play. He's now into video games. He's into everything that you would hope that a 5.5-year-old child would be that he never was before. I mean, with family members, with cousins, he's right in there with the rest of them. Even in school, the teachers have just said to me that he's just like a different child. He'll walk down the hall talking to people he doesn't know. I mean, we'll be in stores. He'll go up to people and how old are you, little girl? I mean, never did we ever think that we would ever see this with him at all. And I mean, it's just the protocol. It's just continuing. We're taking, we're doing the 3 weeks off, and the hours during the month, and it's just every month there's a new gain happening. I mean, from the social gains that he's making, the verbal gains he's making, the cognitive gains. I mean, in school he's reading. He's reading on a 2nd grade level. He's in kindergarten. He's reading completely fluent reading on a 2nd grade level. The teachers have said to me that they don't, they can't explain how he went from. And I said, I can explain it, and it's because of the HBOT. It is truly, it is a time-consuming, procedure that you have to go through, but it is worth every second of it, and you'll never know. And like I said, we had said, if we don't try this, we'll never know. And thank goodness we did, because now we have our child back.